Welcome to Picks on the Bluffs NCAA Week 10 Pick'em. As you can see, we are back in our Skype form. We're joined by Sam Sprout from Florida town.
From Orange Park, Florida.
Well, I'm sure they could see that. Well, they can't
Oh,
see
yeah.
it. But, yeah, both of us had a horrible week last week.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty, that's for sure, because I think both our teams didn't play well or didn't show up. So, it wasn't a good week.
Well, I mean, your team had the lead for a while.
Yeah, I think mainly by penalties.
Well, it's still a lead. It still works.
You know, they're going to get better. It's just, one of those deals where you get a quarterback and the quarterback comes back and, the team's falling apart. It'll get better.
Well, let's just say my team, we didn't even play like we had played the first 8 games of the season. So
I mean, you got a strong team. There's no doubt about it. They just had an off week.
We led for 5 minutes of the first half, a field goal,
Yeah.
and then we just stopped playing.
If we don't win 2 more games, then we don't even make it to the bowl.
Well,
So we've got to at least win 2 more games.
which we will have a bowl special like we did last year. It's going to be awesome. So
Good.
expect that. Well, let's go ahead and get to this week 10. It's a big week for college football as we have the first game of the picks, number 1 LSU at number 2 Alabama.
Yeah, that's an SEC championship right here. That's no doubt about it. You got number 1 LSU and number 2 Alabama. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going with LSU.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. That's what the nation has picked as an.
I think they had Alabama favored because they were at Alabama. They had them favored by 3. So
I haven't been watching much sports this week, but I'm gonna have to pick LSU as well. I'm liking how LSU is their defense is what's been winning the games for them.
exactly.
But so really, that's hopefully that this will probably decide who plays in the national championship game.
I have a good feeling it will. Yeah.
If they don't mess up in the SEC championship game, whoever wins this game.
Right.
But let's go ahead to get to the next game. Another ranked against ranked. Number 14, Kansas State at number 3, Oklahoma State.
I went with Oklahoma State on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's who I went with too. Kansas State showed up for their game last week, but Oklahoma State's been good all year. So.
Right. They're a powerhouse as well. So.
All right, next up, number 4, Stanford at Oregon State.
I'm taking Stanford. That's a gimme there.
Pretty much. Hadn't seen much from Oregon State all year. But Stanford's been one of the teams to choose if you're just looking for a gimme game.
Exactly.
Number 5, Boise State at UNLV.
I'm gonna go with Boise State.
Yeah, this is not really one of those games you pick against Boise State when they play one of their regular games. Yeah, Boise State will probably win it. Texas A&M, who has fallen out of the BCS rankings, at number 6, Oklahoma.
Yeah, they lost last week, so that was a surprise there. But I'm gonna go with Oklahoma on that.
Yeah, A&M was one of those teams you could pick and not really have any worry if they would lose, and then they lost last week. But
yeah, exactly.
I had to pick against them this week also with Oklahoma. Another big SEC game. We got number 9 South Carolina at number 7 Arkansas, and this will be the next to last game South Carolina will have to win to get to the championship game, I'm thinking.
I'm still a Spurrier fan, but they got one of their key players still out hurt. So I'm going to go with Arkansas on that. Latimer's out, and he's a big key player in that game.
Mm-hmm. Even though I'm not really I'm really not a big South Carolina fan, as you know. Marcus Lattimore to me is not really one of those. He's not really one of those people that really showed any effect on either of the teams when he played. He was in the Heisman race, but he just didn't show me anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, South Carolina needs to win this game, and then this will be the next to last SEC game they got that Georgia's looking at. So, South Carolina needs to lose at least one more SEC game for Georgia to get into the championship game from their division. So, but I'm picking Arkansas because Arkansas is one of those teams. Again, you can pick, but they'll show you a little worry in the first half, but come back to win in the second half.
Exactly.
All right, so now we got number 8, Oregon at Washington.
I'm taking Oregon on that, definitely.
Yeah, Oregon is against Washington from the Pac-10, and Washington is like Vanderbilt from the SEC. Easy win team.
Yep.
Next up, Northwestern at number 10, Nebraska.
Let's go with the Corn-huskers. Number 10, Nebraska for me.
Now, that's who I also went with. It's really a no-brainer. Now here's a surprise for you. Number 13, Houston at UAB.
Wow. Houston up in the top 20 too.
Yeah.
That is a surprise. I'm going to go with Houston on that one.
Houston is one of the remaining undefeated teams, but you got to look at who they play. They haven't really played anybody spectacular.
Right.
But usually when they do play people, they blow them out. So I guess that's why they're up there.
Where are they? The Houston what? You know?
I'm thinking they're the Houston Cougars or something like that.
Houston Cougars, wow.
But I may be wrong. I think they have like a cat or something on the side of their helmet. But I think they'll blow out UAB.
Yeah, definitely.
Number 15, Michigan at Iowa.
I'm taking Michigan. They had a good week last week as well, so Iowa really hasn't been that impressive to me.
Yeah, I'm picking the Big Blue to take out the Iowa. Minnesota at number 17, Michigan State.
Let's go with Michigan State.
That sounds good to me. Minnesota is, I think, a 1-win team, 2-win. Doesn't sound that good to me. So Michigan State gets another win. New Mexico State at number 18, Georgia, who beat Florida last week.
Yeah, go ahead and rub it in a little bit. It looks like Georgia. I'm gonna go with Georgia on this because they really ain't playing nobody. I guess it's kind of like last week. They really didn't play anybody, right?
I'm guessing.
Yeah. So I'm going with Georgia on this week. I think they're coming off of a good victory there, and they're still pumped up over that one. So
I'm having to pick Georgia as well. I mean, after, as I said last week, 2 straight losses starting the season, and now they're 6 or 7 straight wins, including a Florida win. I mean, they were really getting it, and now they're hoping for South Carolina to either lose to Arkansas this week or to Florida in 2 weeks. So I think Georgia will get the win here. Arizona State at UCLA.
I'm going to go with Arizona State on that. They're 19th right now, so I think they're going to do good.
That's who I went with as well. UCLA, I'm thinking they were ranked sometime in this year, but
yeah, the first of the season, I believe.
First of the season, then they fell out because they just kept losing. So now Arizona State has stayed right there in the 20, and now they're in the top 20. So I think they'll win again. Purdue at number 20, Wisconsin, who everybody thought would go to the national championship this year.
I'm gonna go with Wisconsin on this. Yeah.
I went with Wisconsin as well, although they've had 2 straight losses, both on Hail Mary attempts.
Yeah.
And that really kills your team there when you lose on Hail Mary attempts. But
Yeah, I mean, it's up for grabs there. Anybody can get it.
But I think they'll come out and beat Purdue. But you got to watch the Purdue. I think they'll give them a tough run, but I think Wisconsin will maybe pull this one out.
Yeah.
Now we got a Texas game. Texas Tech at number 21, Texas.
That looks like an old rivalry to me. Kind of like the Florida State, but I'm going to go with Texas on that.
Yeah, that's who I went with also. Tech, I'm not sure if they won or lost. I can't remember now. But Texas, I think with them winning, I think they'll come off that and go to the next game and win.
Yep.
Louisville at West Virginia, who, if you watched the game last week, they were playing in the snow.
Yeah, that was a surprise. I'm going to go with the Mountaineers on this one. I think West Virginia is going to be able to hold their own there.
West Virginia is looking good right now, even though they're just in the 24. And Louisville hadn't looked very good to me all this year, so West Virginia will get the win. And last but not least, we have number 25 Southern Miss getting in the top 25 for the first time this season at East Carolina.
I never knew there was an East Carolina.
Well,
you hear South Carolina and North Carolina, but an East Carolina?
Well, they're not. Yeah.
I'm going to go with Southern Miss on that.
And I think this is the one I have to disagree with you with. I went with the upset here.
Oh, all right.
I got to get one upset in. So this will be it. I mean, at the beginning of the season, East Carolina hung with South Carolina and almost beat them. So
we'll see.
Maybe they can pull something out. But
that might be where I get my victory over you this week.
I guess so. I mean, I'm in the standings. I'm 5th, and you're leading.
Right.
But I mean, I gotta pull something out of my butt.
Yeah, exactly.
So
gotta take them chances.
Gotta take some chances. So that's it for the top 25. We'll get to our quick picks now, which we got a few more than we did last week. Starting off with Florida State at Boston College, which will be on Thursday night.
I'm going to go with the Seminoles on this one. Florida State all the way.
I like Florida State in this one. Boston College is a 2-win team. Virginia at Maryland.
I'm going with Maryland.
That's another one I'm agreeing with you. The battle of the North Carolina teams. North Carolina at North Carolina State.
I'm going to go with North Carolina.
Another one I'm agreeing with you. Duke at Miami.
Let's go with the Hurricanes on this one. Miami.
This is what I'm disagreeing with you with and going with Duke.
All right. I'll take these victories.
Notre Dame at Wake Forest.
Fighting Irish for me.
And I'm having to go with Wake Forest. So.
All right. You're really reaching out on a limb then, aren't you?
Wake Forest has been a good ACC team this year. They're one game behind Clemson in the Atlantic Division. So, and we actually play Wake Forest next week. So maybe they'll get a win this week, and we got the off week this week. Starting with the SEC teams, Vanderbilt at Florida.
I'm gonna go with Florida. I think they're gonna rebound on this. I think Brantley a little bit stronger this week. I think they're gonna come back and show us who's back in town.
Well, hopefully with Florida back in the swamp, they'll get a victory over one of the bad SEC teams. So I'm picking.
And it's a homecoming for them this weekend too. So maybe they can do strong there.
Yeah. Ole Miss at Kentucky.
I'm going with Kentucky on this.
Kentucky sounds good to me. Some Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Uh-huh.
Hopefully they won't be chicken. Mid-Tennessee at Tennessee.
I'm taking the Volunteers, Tennessee Volunteers.
That's Tennessee sounds good to me. Ain't heard anything from Mid-Tennessee this season.
No.
And last but not least, Martin. I'm guessing it's Tennessee Martin at Mississippi State. I'm not sure.
I'm going to go with the Bulldogs on this one, Mississippi State.
Yep, that's Bulldogs and the team that I know of sounds good to me. So that's it for NCAA. Stay tuned for Week 9 of NFL, which you should find a description either here or in the description. So thanks for tuning in.
Later.